I'm Alma, your narrator to this guided sleep story, taking you on a journey of resilience, strength, and vengeance. As you prepare to drift into a peaceful slumber, immerse yourself in the story of Julianna, a young woman who found the power within to seek justice and healing in the face of unimaginable loss. In your tranquil state, you will be transported to a world where shadows give way to courage and where the human spirit shines its brightest. As you lay in your comfy bed, allow your body to relax and your mind open to the soothing words that will guide you through Julianna's journey. Picture, if you will, a world where darkness and injustice hold sway. A place where one fateful day, Julianna's life took a heartbreaking turn as she received the news of her sister's tragic passing at the hands of a heartless drug cartel member. But this is not just a story of despair. It is a story of transformation. As you inhale deeply, envision Julianna drawing strength from the depths of her being. With each exhale, she releases the shackles of sorrow and makes a solemn promise to honor her sister's memory. Walk alongside our protagonist as she embarks on a courageous journey into the heart of danger. With each step, you can feel the determination that propels her forward, a determination that resonates within you also. Let go of the tension in your muscles. Imagine yourself joining Julianna in her quest for justice. As you drift deeper into relaxation, allow this story to wash over you like a gentle wave, reminding you that you possess an inner wellspring of strength. Witness Julianna's challenges and triumphs, her moments of doubt, and her unwavering resolve. And just as Julianna's experience tests her in unexpected ways, you too will find yourself confronting the boundaries of your own thoughts and emotions. But remember, just like Julianna, you are capable of navigating these challenges with grace, stoicism, and determination. And now, as sleep beckons, let this tale accompany you into your dreams. Close your eyes and surrender to the night. Know that within you lies the strength to overcome any darkness, to seek justice and healing, and to awaken to a new day with renewed spirit. Sweet dreams, dear friend. The funeral. I'm numb. My mind is absent, fleeing the dark, righteous sparks of vengeful thoughts, igniting the synapses of my brain. I don't understand why I'm not crying. Watching her coffin slowly being lowered into an arid, brown, gravelly pit where my family and I will visit frequently as long as we live, which in itself may not be long. Ah, Marie, why did they have to take you? Our lives will never be the same. Ever since the Mexican drug cartels moved into the country, the relentless rise in violence against the Catracho, Hondurans, especially women, has forever darkened the psyche of the nation. 12 months and a day from now, my street will be filled by the bellowing sounds of drums, maracas, and dancing, a Honduran tradition to give my beloved deceased an ancestral send-off. But it will force me to relive this terrible time, only to ponder my lovely Marie, so gorgeous. Your raven black hair perfectly contrasted your silky caramel skin that seemed to glisten regardless of light. Those chocolate brown eyes danced and reveled in the beauty they embodied. And that smile, which always made me feel like we would be all right, no matter how difficult the circumstances. Now you're gone, and this circumstance is too much to bear. Ah, sis, why did they take you from us? These street gangs are literally the spawn of the devil. Your death not long happened after the brutal killing of the beauty queen who won Miss Honduras a few months ago. The main difference is the police have caught that bastard of a boyfriend who shot her in the back 6 times in a blind, jealous rage. The government are paying to protect her family, but that won't last forever. What about us? We are not celebrities. We are poor. The government does not care about the women of this country, as many cases of extreme abuse and murders have gone unsolved. They're corrupt as fuck, sitting in their ivory towers while they siphon off money from the evil drug cartels. Now, my country has become the most violent place outside a war zone, where as much as 2 women a day are killed. Welcome to the home of femicide. I worry for my sister and my mom. Poor mom, why aren't I crying? Watching her convulse, apoplectic with anguish, losing her firstborn so young. Parents should never have to bury their children, but this is just a fantasy, as the consequences of living in this reality are insufferable. My younger sister crushes my body, transmitting her despair into my being, but I still can't cry. Mari! Mari! My mom screams, her tears indistinguishable from the sweat off her brow, bereft as if her morbid tones would be heard beyond the grave. Sis, why did you go out that night? It was just another humid night in Santa Rosa de Copan. I remember you were particularly happy that evening. You went to Gracias to enjoy a night of dancing, laughing and drinking with your friends, until some unsavory drunk gang members walked in the bar, throwing their weight around. One of them took a liking to a young girl, demanding that she be his girlfriend, but you couldn't stand there and watch as this hoodlum started to grope and rough her up. You tried to protect her, knowing full well how dangerous it is for women here. Ah, sis, so noble, so strong, and because this bastard had some status, he thought he could do whatever he wanted. As you stood in front of the young girl, he pulled out a gun and shot you twice in the head. It's been 2 weeks, and not a peep. Nobody has come forward. Not even your so-called friends want to say anything, as they understandably fear for their own lives. And the police lackluster approach has been jarring. I will find the asshole who murdered you, sis, and I pray the Holy Father manifests his righteous vengeance through me. We say our last goodbyes and proceed to leave the cemetery. Hector, a longtime family friend, guides us to his car, our home a 30-minute drive away from Santa Rosa Cathedral. The vehicle slowly bobs along the streets, lined with neoclassical 18th century buildings, a constant reminder of colonial Spanish rule. I blankly stare through the tinted window as I comfort my mother and sister, the vehicle encapsulating the hush of grief, amplifying the sound of the tires scrapping over cobbled stone. We arrive home. Lo siento, mucho, Hector whispers as he opens the door for us. It's okay. Don't be sorry, it wasn't your fault. Thanks for the lift. I answer sternly. I usher my mom and sister into the house. Our home is modest, with its red tiled roof and exterior painted pastel purple. All of the homes here are brightly colored, a kaleidoscopic cornucopia of bricks and mortar, connected by wires and cables held up by pylons, create a web-like canopy between the dusty potholed roads and the pale blue sky. Our place is the second to last at the top of the hill on the outskirts of Santa Rosa, affording us a wonderful tropical vista of undulating hills, thick forest, and the city below. My younger sister takes Mom to her room and sits with her. Although we don't feel like eating, I go to the kitchen to prepare something. I'm not looking forward to work tomorrow, given my current state. Although we have some small savings, I have to keep the money coming in. I walk into my mom's room, holding a small plate of baleadas. "Here you are, Mom, your favorite." She sits staring at the picture of Jesus Christ on the wall, still grasping ever so tightly a picture of Marie. "You must eat something, Mom." She doesn't flinch, constricted with silence. My sister takes the plate and lays it on the bedside table. "You must eat too," I say strongly. "No, I can't face eating anything right now, Julianna." Lucita was the youngest, me the middle child, and Mari the oldest. The reason why I felt I had to be strong. The rock that my family could lean on during this horrid time. Lucita and I spent most of the evening with Mum. She lay on the bed in a fetal position, still grasping the picture of Mari. Her cheeks flush, dampened by the outpouring of pain-filled tears. She had finally drifted off to sleep. My sister snuggled with her. Glum, I slowly strolled to my room next door and collapsed on my bed, still not having shed a tear. I couldn't cry. I had sent a text to my cousin Carlos the day we found out about Marie's death. Carlos loved Marie and looked after her from time to time when she was younger. Unfortunately, Carlos inevitably got caught up with the street gang, although he was against it. All he wanted was to get away from here to start a better life in the US, as the majority of Hondurans live below the poverty line. You might argue he had a choice. The reality is, choice is an illusion. He got caught and barely kept his life. He's halfway through a 12-year sentence in San Pedro Sula, one of the most violent prisons in the world. Maybe he's lost his phone or worse. No, I can't think like that, but it's been 2 weeks since we've been in contact. I hope to God he's still alive. Morning returns. I pour myself out of bed, reluctantly getting ready for work. A phantom stench of tobacco leaf invades my nostrils, a prelude to the drudgery ahead. I go to check on my mom and sister. To my surprise, they are still sleeping. The food I prepared yesterday had been left in the fridge, which will be an easy breakfast for them. I leave home to start the 45-minute walk to the factory as I look at my phone, in the hope my cousin has responded. Still no response. With each stride, I reminisce about the 6-month visa I got to study English at an independent college in Texas. My plan was to intern and eventually get a job as a writer for a small publication. Things were going quite well. It provided a strong sense of hope. It was my intention to overstay my welcome, but I didn't think it through properly. As my visa ran out, I took the ruinous decision to stay illegally. I just wanted to build a better life for my mom and sisters. But this was the beginning of sorrows, as I soon got found out. Got deported, and within 3 months of my forced return, I've lost my beloved sister, have a low-paying job with no prospects, and in grave danger of losing my own life. But this is no time to feel sorry for myself. Santa Rosa Tobacco Factory has a long and celebrated history and is world famous for its brands of tobacco. But the tourists who frequent this historical establishment have little knowledge of Luz de Luna, a tobacco factory only known by the locals. Its small 18th century facade welcomes me in. The dense scent of tobacco penetrates my skin. The ammonia-heavy odor of drying and curing leaves, accompanied by the clacking of antique tools, only enhance the enigmatic ambience of this building. I get to the locker room, open my locker, put my bag and take out a blue jacket every worker was obligated to wear to keep the chippings off your clothes, and a mouth mask. I would usually put my phone in my locker, as mobiles are not permitted on the factory floor. But I'm hoping my cousin will contact me, so I keep it in my pocket. I put on my jacket and make for the factory floor I enter, and immediately feel a pin-drop silence fall upon the room. Awkward. The walk to my desk seemed to take forever as I shuffled past my colleague who sits next to me. I could see great pity in her eyes. I'm deeply sorry, Julianna. Thank you, Consuela, to be honest. I just want to work and not think about anything. Of course, my love, of course, Consuela graciously replied. But I was thinking, scheming, plotting, raking my brains to find a way to get my sister's killer. I lost myself in my work. I had become very skilled in rolling, which increased nimbleness in my fingers and enhanced dexterity in my hands. I was in a trance, about to roll my 10th cigar from left to right, laying out the tripa, filler leaves, then the capote, binder leaves, and finally the kappa, the wrapper. I partially removed the central vein of the filler leaf and started to bunch the leaves together when I felt my phone vibrating. The leaves I was rolling sieved through my fingers like sand. I hastily reached for my phone, looked at the screen, expecting a text. I hesitated, taking a second to realize it was actually a call. I couldn't believe it. Carlos was actually calling and not texting. I rocketed out my seat and sped out of the factory room, ignoring my line manager's shouts of disapproval. Hello, hi, Julie. I got your message just as my phone lost charge. It's been a nightmare getting a new battery. It's difficult enough trying to not go insane in here. Can't imagine what it's been like for you and the family. How are you, lovely? Carlos, thank God. You have no idea how pleased I am to hear your voice with what has happened. I thought the worst. I'm not coping well, and Mom and Lucita are okay. Okay, I'm beyond angry, Julie. Mari was a beautiful soul and didn't have a bad bone in her body. She didn't deserve this. I know things aren't easy in there, Carlos, but we've got to do something about this. Maybe you could ask around to see if we can find out who did this. Since I got the message, I've reached out to certain people. I haven't heard anything yet. But as soon as I do, I will text you, okay? Okay. Julianna. Damn, my manager is shrieking. I must go, Carl. Glad to hear your voice. Love you. Ditto, kid, ditto. The prison. I stare at my phone, briefly forgetting my hellish surroundings. This prison is dark, decrepit, and dangerous. I lay on a deflated mattress, imagining millions of ways to kill Mari's murderer. The punk who caused this will pay in the worst way. San Pedro Sula Prison has had its fair share of media attention over the last 10 years, with good reason. Luckily, I've managed to live through the power struggles and massacres. There's a social structure and hierarchy here, overseen by Don Breve. Although he's not gang-affiliated, has the respect of the notorious MS-13 and Barrio 18 gangs. The inmates are living in relative peace under his watch, which has been a welcome relief. The prison is splintered into 3 categories: Maras, active gang members; Pasitas, former gang members; and Paisas, those who have never been in a gang before their incarceration. Unfortunately, former gang members are put in with us Paisas, which has caused extremely bloody and gruesome episodes where many have died terribly. I'm in here for attempting to run 4 kilos of cocaine to the border of Guatemala. The street gang leader offered me a decent sum, which would have allowed me to eventually get out of this country, but I got caught. I have another 6 years of this BS. The chances of me being killed were very high. Until one day I happened to see one of the pesetas, brandishing a makeshift knife, sneak into Don Brev's unguarded room while he was snoozing. I managed to catch up with him and knock him out. Let's just say that Don Brev was merciless with his would-be killer. He's owed me ever since. It's morning and the prison is already rowdy. I get a message that Don Brev wants to see me. I briskly walk through the gray, caged, labyrinthine corridors, dodging inmates and ignoring dirty slurs. I go through one of the courtyards, then into a smaller area 3 minutes away from my cell. Don Breve had a much more luxurious abode compared to mine. Like me, he was a paisas, but gained a name for himself as a thief on the wicked streets of San Pedro Sula, and interestingly, didn't have many enemies. A moral criminal, if there ever was such a thing. Don Breve, you wanted to see me. Yes. Carlos, come and sit. His cell was decked out with a variety of creature comforts, a 20-inch plasma screen. His bed frame, a happy home for a comfy mattress, air conditioning, and a mini fridge posted up in the corner where he kept his favorite beers. He got up and stretched his thick-set arm to open the fridge, pulling out 2 ice-cold bottles of Salvavita and cracked them open with his teeth. Here, take. Thank you. There was a short pause as we simultaneously took a swig. How are you, Carlos? Surviving, Don Breve. Surviving. As I eagerly awaited what he had to say me. We all are, my friend. Listen, I know you found it difficult since you got the sad news of your cousin's murder. As you know, I'm a man of my word. I owe you a favor. I know the name of the man you seek. My chest tightened. My breathing shortened, sweat oozed through my pores, as if watching my favorite striker about to shoot before he scores. He got his phone and showed me a picture and his name. My pupils dilated. I was enraged and elated at the same time, knowing that karma was etching ever closer to seal this monster's fate. Give me your number so I can send you this. Before Don Breve could finish his sentence, I relayed my number. Within seconds, I had this precious information in my phone. I only hoped that we could kill him before somebody else did. Thank you so much, Don, as I got up hastily. Wait. Don Breve whispered loudly as he gently placed his weathered hand on my shoulder to sit me back down. This man has a moderate reputation on the streets. How are you going to go about getting him? I need some time to think about that. Look, I have a contact that I will speak to in the coming days. Who knows where he operates? Who? I asked inquisitively. Don Breve looked me dead in the eye, piercing my soul, his face expressionless. He turned away and took another swig of beer and casually uttered, El Immortal. Coughing nervously, I knew exactly who Don Brev was talking about. The Immortal was a well-known contract killer whose signature was cutting out his victims' tongues and eyes before shooting them in the heart. He was highly connected with the Mexican drug cartels and street gangs around the country. There was 3/4 of beer left in my bottle, which I gulped down in one go. I graciously thanked Don Brev once again and left for my cell. I decided not to send Julianna the details of the killer just yet, as I had to wait on Don Breve's killer contact. Time goes by, so slowly. Laying here in our favorite hammock, I think about you every day, Mari, wishing you were opposite me, like the old days, chatting and laughing about anything and everything. It's been months now. Although we have been in contact, Carlos hasn't had any news regarding the killer, but I can't lose hope. I pray every day that I get to look him in the eye and transmit the insufferable torment he has inflicted upon my family. Lucita hasn't been to school for ages. My mom worries for her, as school children often get caught up in the turf wars between the gangs and are at risk of being beaten, kidnapped, and raped. Mom has spiraled into a profound depression. She seldom leaves her room, constantly reminding Lucita she must stay with her, which is taking its toll on both of them. She's a young girl, and like all young people, should be out with her friends enjoying her youth. But she can't deal to the machismo culture of gangs, girls, and guns, where a man's power is measured by the bullets he's shelled. All of this is fueling the fire of vengeance raging inside of me. I crave for more fire, more anger. I feel it shifting me into a new form of existence. I unashamedly have zero remorse for who I once was. That person died with Marie. Staring at my phone, a message, Carlos again. Hi, Carl. I know I'm being a nuisance, but have you had any word, any leads or anything? I feel my phone vibrate. I don't need to look at it because I know it's Julianna. I feel bad for not sending her the picture of the killer right away, but Don Breve hasn't got back to me. It's been months now. Time passes differently on the inside. Walking back from the prison market, also known as the zone of death, one of the inmates catches up with me and whispers, Don Breve wants to talk to you. My snail-like pace quickly turned into a canter as I entered the courtyard and swiftly went up the stairs. 2 by 2 upon entering his room, I stopped in my tracks as Don Breve was being entertained by a stripper who was giving him a private dance. Carlos, come in. As he shooed the dancing woman out of his cell. How's it going? Not bad, Don Breve, although it's been a while since we spoke. I know. Getting hold of the immortal has proved problematic, but I've managed to speak to him. Have you spoken to your cousin? No, not yet. I think you should let her know who the killer is, as the immortal has agreed to help. Really? I chuffed. Over the last few months, he's been recording his movements to discern the best time when he's on his own. There's a small bar called El Loro Amarillo, the Yellow Parrot, in San Jose. He goes to the last Friday of every month. Great. I'll let Julianna know straight away. Listen, the immortal will be at that bar around 10 p.m. I know you're aware of his gruesome signature. Yes, very aware. His escapades will be remembered in urban folklore for generations. You're right. Julianna needs to know now. Thank you, Don Breve. Good. Now get out of here. I sprinted to my cell and grasped my phone. I couldn't dial fast enough. Hi, Julie. Hey, Carl, you good? Yes, very good. I have some news. The killer will be at a small bar, El Loro Amarillo in San Jose this Friday. A powerful friend has someone that's going to get him. What? Now, I'm going to send you a picture along with his name. I know this will be difficult, Julie, but take comfort in the fact that he's going to get what he deserves very soon. Please send it. Send it now. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Trembling with despair and delight, I fell out the hammock, grazing my wrist as I gripped my phone like a croc attacking a gazelle on the riverbank. My phone vibrated. I froze, glaring at the message, hesitating to open it, anticipating the multitude of emotions poised to wreak havoc with my nerves. I opened the message. His name was Miguel Lopez, or more widely known as El Golpe, the Hit. He was a captain of a lesser street gang that were notorious for hacking their enemies to death before decapitating them. He had a small, skinny frame, his neck bejeweled with a rose gold chain. Sprawled out on a chair, his squinting eyes propped up by a sweaty, sinister smile without a care. I got to look him in the eye, but I knew this wasn't enough. I am going to kill you, I thought. The next few days were agony, going through the tedious motions of the everyday, pondering what I was going to do. I had no idea. Friday. I haven't slept. I'm energized. Adrenaline has been building up in my bloodstream ever since I got the message. I still wasn't sure how I was going to get there. But somehow, some way, I'll get to San Jose. I vaguely remember El Loro Amarillo. It was a popular drinking spot for farmers and nomads. Before the car crash, Papa would take me on delivery runs from time to time, and that bar was one of his stops. My sister and Mom had gone to the nearby market to get some groceries. I went to work as normal. I rolled 5 more cigars than usual, to the surprise and reluctant praise of my manager. I rushed home, had a quick wash, and changed into a dark gray tracksuit, trying to figure out my creepy journey. I didn't want to pay for a cab, too risky. And I certainly wasn't going to walk, as it was highly likely I wouldn't return home. My sister was preparing dinner when there was a knock at the door. I cautiously stepped towards the front door. "Who is it?" "Hector." I rapidly opened up and welcomed him with a big hug. "Hey, Hector, what you doing here? I was in the neighborhood and couldn't leave without seeing you guys. Where's your mom?" "Lucita. Is there enough food? Hector is here." I set another place at the table as my mom and Hector caught up. As we sat at the table, my behavior became more erratic. "Julianna, are you all right? You seem a bit preoccupied." Of course I was. "It's 9 p.m. I've got to leave." "I'm okay, Hector." I shot up out of my chair. "Where are you going, Julie?" "I need to get something from Jenny down the road. Mom, I'll be back in 5 minutes." Jenny was a neighbor who had been so kind to us since Mari's passing. "Come straight back." "Yes, Mama." Lucita gave me a wry eye, knowing I was up to something. I rushed out, put on Mari's favorite baseball cap, and took Hector's car keys from his jacket that was hung by the door. I jumped into his pickup, quietly depressing the handbrake, allowing it to silently roll down the hill. Once I was far enough so that I wouldn't alert him, I switched on the engine and lights and headed towards San Jose. It was a 40-minute drive from my town. My phone buzzed. It was Carlos asking what I was doing. As I briefly looked down at my phone, I hit a pothole that veered me off course, positioning the vehicle directly facing an oncoming car. Lights flashing before my eyes, I swerved the right way at the last moment. I can't die now. I'd been on the road at least 30 minutes driving in darkness. Murky jungle, either side of me tussling with the night air softly backlit by a half moon. Eventually, a sweeping corner gradually revealed the sparsely lit town of San Jose. Memories of Papa flooded my mind, adding extra strain on the heavy pain I was already enduring. It was 9:59 p.m. I slowly parked up and waited with the bar in sight. El Loro Amarillo hadn't changed much. Surrounded by low-lit street lamps, it had the charm of a Wild West saloon, the ones you would see in old Clint Eastwood westerns. The rocking chair on the decking was still there, as it latently rocked in the refreshing Honduran breeze. The edge of the roof was draped in little Christmas lights. Wooden cladding eroding where it met the rusty metal framework. Muffled tones of Cuban salsa seeped through the window cracks, the shabby interior accompanied by intermittent laughter and chatter. I sat in the black pickup like a panther, patiently waiting for its prey. The atmosphere was strange, as there wasn't many people around. I got the odd, inquisitive look from passersby. Looking in the rear view, I didn't recognize myself. I couldn't see my soul behind my somber eyes. I pulled the peak of the baseball cap low, so my face was partially obscured. I glanced at the side view mirror. I noticed a large man emerge from the blur of the night, gliding gradually towards El Loro Amarillo without a care in the world. He was wearing a black shirt, buttoned from top to bottom black jeans, sandy brown cowboy boots, with spurs melodically jingling with each step, his head adorned by a black Stetson. A bright red Macao feather wedged in a black silk ribbon, wrapped round the top of the brim, glowed like an infrared beam. I was enamored by this mysterious stranger, watching him slide into the bar. 20 minutes had passed. My phone vibrated. It was Carlos resending the message that nearly killed me earlier. "Hey, Julie. I hope you're okay. That bastard is gonna get it tonight. Good fucking riddance." I grimaced, thinking it was a smirk. My attention shifted by Shakira's voice, as it sharply got louder and almost immediately softer as the bar door opened and closed. It was him. I wish my Medusa-like stare would kill him right there. Skinny loser. He was with the mysterious red feather. They seemed to be having a tense discussion, then walked towards a red car parked further up from the bar. It was then I knew the red feather was the killer contact. My whole body shivered even though the night was warm. They talked some more before getting in the car. From the corner of my eye, a soldier came out the bar and seemed agitated, looking around as if he lost something. Then he fixated on the red car that was pulling off. Damn it. I fidgeted with the ignition. The car chugged, alerting the soldier to my presence. He started to walk towards me. Hey. As he got within 2 feet of the car, he put his hand on his pistol. The wheels span. I was gone, hoping I hadn't lost the red car, and grateful the soldier didn't fire. The night was aging. My phone vibrated. It was Lucita calling. "Where the F are you? Julie, Mom is getting well worried." "I'm not far. Do me a favor. Let Mom know I'm all right, and try to keep Hector from leaving." "Julie, do you think I'm stupid? I know you took his car. Now what the heck is going on?" I raised an eyebrow. "I'll tell you when I get back, please, sis. For me, keep him from leaving our house, okay?" "I'll try. You owe me big time, Julie." "For sure, Bezos." I had caught up with the red car. I turned my headlights off, using the brake lights ahead as a guide. Where the hell were they going? The red lights sharply disappeared, left onto a country road flanked by long grass. The night adds a different complexion to places, but this area seemed familiar. It was as if Mari was pulling the ethereal strings of coincidence to help my vengeful plight. I made my way up a slight incline. The dark night sky embossed a silhouette of a solitary house, partially enveloped by undergrowth. My memory of this place came flooding back. It was La Casa Embrujada del Santa Rosa, a haunted house that has been the talk of many towns for years due to the fabled paranormal activity that has been said to go on here. Marie and I went there a couple of times, filled with teenaged curiosity and mischief. I remember looking at the floor and Mari saying, "This floor is so dirty, even the mice wear stilts." Her sense of humor was something special. The red car pulled up. I parked a respectable distance away. 2 shadows appeared from the car. One seemed to be pointing an object at the other and gesturing for them to go into the house. I quickly swiped the small machete from the side pocket of the passenger seat and jumped out the pickup. The half-moon emitted her cool silver hue as I walked towards the house, my heartbeat accelerating as I got closer, my body engorged with vengeful vexation. I creeped through the undergrowth surrounding the house, the long grass cushioning my steps, groans and moans become increasingly louder as I edged closer. I crouched under the glassless window and peeked through a hole under the window pane. El Golpe had been tied up to the central overhead beam that held up the house. He was stripped to his briefs, hanging by his wrists, feet dangling like a little child in a pushchair. The floor was filthier than I remembered. He seemed to be semi-conscious. Red Feather had already gone to work on him. Blood mixed with dirty perspiration dripped from his jaw. A bright orange floating ember partially lit up a dark corner, followed by a thick plume of smoke seeking El Golpe's battered face. The melodic jingle of his sandy brown cowboy boots added to the symphony of death Red Feather was conducting. El Golpe was breathing rapidly. Do you know who I am? You kill me, and you'll be dead by tomorrow. I guarantee it. Red Feather grinned as he stepped closer to El Golpe, who was hanging like meat in an abattoir. Except he wasn't going to be cured. I could taste the faint flavor of pork, but it really was the scent of burning flesh. Red Feather prodded him with his cigar, branding him like cattle being primed for slaughter. I suddenly felt something crawling up my leg. It was a centipede. I hated those critters. Yelping broke my cover. I frantically looked through the hole, desperately trying to get a lock on Red Feather, stupidly thinking he never heard me. But he was gone. Get up. I shook, my stomach tight and twisted. Nice. And slowly. I rose like a diver, emerging from the deep blue. Who the fuck are you? I paused, still brandishing the machete hidden by a shadow, my back facing his thundery baritones. As you can see, I'm in the middle of something. 2 for 1. Great. Just another day at the office for me. You're lucky I could have shot you already. Now, who are you? Julianna Caceres. I followed you from El Loro Amarillo in San Jose. The immortal shifted his gaze to the hanging victim. How do you know this man? That bastard murdered my sister in cold blood, and I wanted to see his torment firsthand. The immortal chuckled softly. Now, turn around slowly. As I turned, I was faced with a cigar-smoking Stetson, wearing hulking figure, brandishing a gun, the black hole of the barrel yearning to suck me in, the half-moonlight exposing the machete I was holding. I'm guessing that isn't for me. Correct. This way. He ushered me around the back of the house, and through a small doorway, I could see the back of El Golpe, hanging like bad fruit from a dying tree. The Red Feather slowly walked back to face his victim. He took another toke on his cigar, reached behind his back, and pulled out a sickle. El Golpe gasped. No. On seeing the sickle, El Golpe knew exactly who the Red Feather was. You're the immortal who's paid you. I'll double it to get who wants me dead. The immortal smirked as he swiftly swung the sickle within millimeters of his left ear. El Golpe scrunching his beady eyes into his cheeks, anticipating a painful and gruesome impact. He didn't feel anything. As he slowly opened his eyes, the immortal glared at him. Today is your lucky day. I'm not going to kill you. El Golpe sighed in relief. She is. Slowly appearing from the dark, I waded through the filthy floor, my face as still as my dead sister's. Come on, I've never seen this bitch before in my life. No, I'm the last one. Now cast your mind back 8 months. You and your cronies went to a bar in Gracias, causing havoc. Remember? Look, bitch, me and my boys go all over the place. What the fuck do you want from me? Staring him dead in the eye, I raised my machete to his left armpit and applied enough pressure to draw blood. Do you remember now? Yeah, that's right. Me and my crew went to the mosquito bar there. Come on, we're men. We can get a bit boisterous at times. The people there tolerated it. Then we left. Don't fucking lie to me. As I pointed the razor-sharp tip of my blade directly at his pupil. All right. There was this chick who was playing hard to get. And someone like me isn't into games, so we danced and shit. Then this other bitch tried to involve herself in my business. Gotta hand it to her, though she had some stones. The way he just casually spoke about Mari, as if her life didn't matter, was sobering. I erupted. I started to skin him like an apple, flaying him from his armpit to his hip. I wanted to get to his core. The place I'm sending you has no fury for my scorn. This is the beginning of your torment. I'm glad eternity has no end. I started to hack at him like a human piñata. His rib-curdling screams were mute to my ears. Each slash, slice, and stab was punctuated by my words. You killed my sister to increase your rep, you fucking evil, skinny little worm. My soulless eyes burst with water like Giza's. It was uncontrollable. All that pain accompanied by flashbacks of good memories of Marie, while I continued hacking. I was finally crying. The more I slashed, the more I cried. I sobbed. I wept. His limp, bloody, lacerated body became blurred behind giant pearls of tears into a reddish-black mist. The inconsolable outpour spurred my revenge-filled rage. The limitless spirit of vengeance was powerful indeed. Then, I felt a hand tightly grip my hacking wrist, poised for another strike. He's dead. He's gone. The immortal said calmly. I fell to my knees into the disgusting sludge beneath me. Breathing heavily, I glared at him, my face full with streaks of blood, mixed with gushing tears, streaming down my cheeks, like the ending scenes of Carrie. The immortal looked at me from behind his shadowy brim, and with a tilted grin uttered, La asesina Julianna, the crying slayer.